day, with the hour of the day.
Welcome to this episode of Y'all of the Day. My name is Kwadwo, shouting and the head is big for a reason. Now, this episode of Y'all of the Day is brought to you by what? Bet Africa. Bet Africa, an app I will be to me download now. They are trading with bitcoins. So download the Bet Africa app and you need to trade your bitcoins. Now, another coup come on. Yes, it be like West African countries there. The military people are not joking. No. So there's been a coup in Burkina Faso. Their country in the AFCON, they've qualified to the quarterfinals. Yesterday, a coup happened for their country. Let me read the story to you. Burkina Faso's army said on Monday it had ousted President Roch Kabore, suspended the constitution, dissolved the government and the National Assembly, and closed the country's borders. The announcement cited the deterioration of the security situation and what the army described as Kabore's inability to unite the West African nation and effectively respond to challenges which include an Islamist insurgency. Signed by I do almost say lieutenant, right? Whatever it is. Lieutenant Colonel Paul Sandogo Damiba, and read by another officer on state television. The announcement said that the takeover had been carried out without violence and that those detained were at a secure location. We don't know where they are located. The statement was made in the name of previously unheard of entity, the Patriotic Movement of Safeguard and Restoration, or MPSR. It's French language acronym. You understand? Kabore's whereabouts were unknown on Monday, with conflicting accounts of his situation. Army purges have toppled government over the past 18 months in Mali and Guinea. The military also took over in Chad last year after President Idriss Déby died, fighting rebels on the battlefield in the country's north. Landlocked Burkina Faso, one of West Africa's poorest countries, despite being a gold producer, has experienced numerous coups since independence from France in 1960. The MPSR said it will propose a calendar for return to constitutional order within a reasonable time frame after consultations with various sections of the nation. You know this statement, they make them for making sake or for saying sake. Mostly, they don't return. You see, and that is one problem I have with these military guys. They will come with the government, the president is not doing well. We are here to restore this. We want the country to be on the right path. When they come to power, they just come and do the same thing. That is one problem I have with those things. But anyway, the U.S. Department on Monday said it was aware of reports that Kabore had been detained by the military and called for his release. It added that it was too soon to officially characterize development in West African country. When asked if Washington was undertaking a coup assessment, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres strongly condemns any attempted takeover of government by the force of arms in Burkina Faso and calls on the coup leaders to lay down their weapons. A UN spokesperson said after the army statement. The broadcast came after 2 days of confusion and fear in Ouagadougou, the capital, where shooting erupted at army camps on Sunday, with soldiers demanding more resources for their fight against the Islamist militants. Several hundred residents gathered in Ouagadougou Central Palace de la Nation to show their support for the coup. We are really happy. We have been out for 2 days to support the army, said Ibrahim Zare. We are behind them. Intense gunfire was heard in the area around Kabore's residence overnight. Early, Kabore's party said he had survived an assassination attempt, but gave no details. It also said his personal residence has been ransacked.
Gunfire sounded from several military camps in Burkina Faso on Sunday, as mutinying soldiers demanded more support from the government in their fight against Al-Qaeda and Islamic State-linked militants. The government has called for calm and denies that the army has seized power or detained President Roch Kabore. Heavy gunfire was first heard in the early hours at a camp in the capital Ouagadougou, which houses a prison whose inmates include soldiers involved in a failed 2015 coup attempt. That's according to a Reuters reporter who saw soldiers firing into the air inside the camp and at the Ouagadougou International Airport. A witness also reported gunfire at a military camp in Kaya, around 62 miles north of the capital. One of the mutineers, speaking to reporters, issued a series of demands. They include appropriate resources and training for the army, which has suffered severe losses at the hands of militants in recent months. Another demand was the resignations of the Army Chief of Staff and the head of the intelligence services. Hundreds have come out in support of the soldiers, and police fired tear gas in downtown Ouagadougou to disperse around 300 protesters. The government confirmed gunfire at some military camps, but the West African country's defence minister said the reasons were still unclear. Countries in the region are on high alert for coups after successful takeovers in Guinea and Mali over the past 18 months. Earlier this month, Burkina authorities arrested a dozen officers on suspicion of conspiring against the government. Outside the presidential residence in Burkina Faso on Monday morning, several armed vehicles riddled with bullets and stained with blood. 4 security sources and a West African diplomat say President Roch Kabore has been detained by mutinying soldiers. Heavy gunfire had been heard at his home in the capital Ouagadougou on Sunday night. Throughout the day, the sound of bullets had rung out from several military camps, where soldiers were demanding more support for their fight against militants linked to Al-Qaeda and Islamic State. The government had denied the army had seized power. On Monday morning, government sources could not be reached for comment. 3 armoured vehicles and soldiers wearing balaclavas were stationed outside the headquarters of the state broadcaster. Kabore has faced waves of protests in recent months. Frustration had been mounting over the frequent killing of civilians and soldiers by militants. Protesters came out in support of the mutineers on Sunday and ransacked the headquarters of Kabore's political party. The government declared a curfew from 8 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. and closed schools for 2 days. But as the sun came up on Monday, it wasn't clear who is now in charge.
Burkinabé de panser ses plaies, de reconstruire sa cohésion et de célébrer ce qui a toujours fait notre identité, à savoir l'intégrité. Vive le Burkina Faso, que Dieu bénisse notre nation. Ouagadougou le 24 janvier 2022, signé lieutenant-colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, président du mouvement patriotique pour la sauvegarde et la restauration, MPSR. Communiqué numéro 2. Peuple du Burkina Faso, concitoyens, concitoyennes, amis du Burkina Faso. Le MPSR porte à la connaissance de l'opinion nationale et internationale que 1. La Constitution est suspendue. 2. Le gouvernement est dissous. 3. L'Assemblée nationale est dissoute. 4. Les frontières terrestres et aériennes sont fermées pour compter du 24 janvier 2022 à 0 heure, et ce, jusqu'à nouvel ordre. 5. Un couvre-feu est instauré de 21h à 5h du matin sur toute l'étendue du territoire national à compter de ce jour jusqu'à nouvel ordre. Ouagadougou, le 24 janvier 2022, signé lieutenant-colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, président du mouvement patriotique pour la sauvegarde et la restauration, MPSR.
West African countries, I think this is the season of coup. Bro, it'd be sad. It'd be so sad what is happening. It has basically become a norm. You see the countries listed: Mali, Guinea, Chad, Burkina Faso. It is just running through. You see the underlying factor or the basic underlying statement all these people, they do the coup, you say, oh, bad governance, economic this, we are not having this. You understand? It is always about bad governance. But when they take over, They are not able to do whatever they are saying they are going to do. That is my problem. And that is why coup it be useless to me. Because basically, these military people will come, they will come and raise the hopes of the people. We are coming to fight for the people. Yes, we demand accountability, blah, 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 blah. When they finally, us, the president or the sitting president, they come and sit in and sometimes most of them refuse to even go. They give themselves positions. They will promise you that, we are going to set up a committee to bring a constitutional rule back, blah, 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 blah. 100 years, then people will be there. Most of these military people, you see, say they will rebrand themselves as civilians. They will rebrand and stand for elections. And they will win, and they will sit there, and nothing will be done. But when you look at it, you see it is running through. It is happening. It be sad though. It be sad. My continent. But anyway, it is what it is. As usual, the toothless organizations like the ECOWAS and the AU, and they have issued statement condemning what has happened over there. I don't think the military people are going to listen to them. You understand? Mostly that is what happens. They will organize an emergency meeting. They will go and sit there and drink tea and they will leave. Yes. They will issue statement. This is unconstitutional. We don't subscribe to this. They will suspend them. They will put economic sanctions on them. At the end of the day, they will just in on that. Look at the Guinea situation. But one thing it pay me be say that the military people, as they address the nation, as the coup happen, they don't talk anything about AFCON. Yes, their country is in the team, so they should have addressed the AFCON too. But anyway, yes. I'm just saying, I don't know what is happening. Maybe there is some wave of coup d'etat running through the system, but yes, it is what it is. And my name is Kwadwo Sheldon. I don't have much to say about some of these things because of the technicalities involved, but I'm just highlighting the fact that there's been another coup in Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso. Burkina